Here's another round of 16 match from the Wisdom of Thoth tournament. So yeah, the top 16 are in this at this point, and we have got a $1,000 prize pool here, so a lot on the line for this. In the blue color, we have got the one and only Shelty, playing as Thor, definitely one of his better gods. And on the other side, playing in the red color, this is Batuhan, playing as Hades. Now everybody knows Shelty. Needs no introduction, he's been around for forever. Definitely one of those really solid players. Kills 2 zebras right away to get access to pick sticker, that's what it takes. And finding some goats around the map, but so is our Greek player Batuhan. Batuhan comes from an extended edition background, and he recently has started playing in Vubli tournaments as well. Great to see him there. He's been performing pretty good. I mean, he's in the round of 16. That means a lot, right? Hades against 4 is also a rather decent matchup where if the gold mines allow for it, you can gold starve. I think these 4 gold mines are rather secure though for Shelty. It should be relatively possible to maintain control of at least some of them. It's all about that restoration. Hades has those crazy Toxotes, which definitely is the thing that Batuhan can rely on. So apply Toxotes, and the Hades heroes into a restoration push is probably the strat. Most of the time it is. It's very rare that we see a Hades player going for Ares. It can happen though. And on a map with less hunt, I would say maybe it's viable as well. But there's even the hunt has hunt on this map. There's freaking elephants. There's more than enough to go around here for Shelty to make a bunch of hers here. So the Cyclops wouldn't be a threat. Cyclops Oxolis is, however, a pretty good composition. It's just I don't think we'll see it. Very unlikely for it to happen. The relics in the corner. We've got Odin's Wand for some temple upgrade reduction, cost reduction, and a pair of golden lions. Yeah, it's okay. Getting those lions for free. I mean, they're each like a 1 population unit essentially, like a spearman or something like that. Might as well grab it. Every little bit of damage soaking or damage that you can do is valuable. Elephant gets super easily killed by Pixiker gatherers. It's not even a contest. Norse always the civ that can be so efficient with their hunt. Greek was doing their best, but it's just not as fast. Oh, he got a faster advance than Shelty. Yeah, Shelty waiting it out, going for that 445? Something like that. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. What are the differences and similarities between Minotaurs and Cyclopses? When should you pick one or the other? So the thing is, people don't really make Minotaurs. The only case where you do is like on a water map, like let's say Midgard. Midgard sees people making those, and then it's just Minotaurs and Toxotes. So the Minotaurs allow you to spend not that much food, and they have their upgrade that makes them even cheaper. So you get the upgrade first, and then they're cheap, and then you can spam them. And that's very viable with something like Zeus. But Hades just doesn't have the favor gather rate to really justify doing it. Whereas a Cyclops is just something that you get 2 or 3 of, and they'll be instant killing units, and then your Toxotes can just hide behind them. It's pretty good stuff. But what you really want from the minor god is the god power. Restoration can fix up your entire army that's damaged. And there's a lot more resource value in that than in Pestilence, which just delays unit production for a little bit. Well, guess what? The other guy will just pop down additional buildings in different locations, and they'll still be producing. So it's relatively counterable, and villagers can defend themselves in the early game somewhat. So you have some Hersiers from the arcade cage coming out, and that can kind of deal with the initial myth unit. The villagers can kind of deal with the heroes with their kitchen knives, and thus the value of pestilence isn't very high, especially if the buildings are spread out. Now Shelty is not spreading the buildings, so he could have gotten really really blocked by pestilence, but Batu had no idea, and he was going Athena anyway for the longer term value. So the Valkyrie is getting sniped by the not Odysseus, Chiron. Chiron has 6 track rating. He will take the Valkyrie down, no question about it. Valkyrie only has 5.5 speed, so she gets hit every time this guy fires an arrow, except if he actually randomly misses. Yeah, he's only got a 90% accuracy or whatever. Is it lower than that? It doesn't actually say in this. Funny, the other versions of the mod do include accuracy. Anyway, it's a minuscule thing. Sometimes you miss an arrow. First, you're getting focused down. The hoplites are just attacking the tower. All that Batuhan wants is to control this spot right here, because this will allow control over the gold mine, and Shelty has to evacuate it going to maybe this spot. More hoplites and Toxotes are flooding in, but this is just 2 buildings, and meanwhile the counter raid is getting set up, so these 4 raiding cav are looking for villagers to snipe. If they're not too high in numbers, then it's actually possible to do that. Now, this tower is getting taken down. The gold mine is absolutely unusable, but Shelty saved his dwarven mine, which I really love in this situation. It's just one of those things that 4 can do that the others can't do. 1500 gold now from this one, because he saved it until the classical age. Very nice. It's like having an additional gold mine almost. Well, these guys start with 3000 in the main base, and then the outer one's a 6k. House will be taken down, and bear in mind these houses are weaker than that of the other civs, so it's definitely a good target. Sentinel used in the main base, all 4 spawn, thanks to a overall good spawn of towers, not blocking the way. More raiding cav are getting split off, and yeah, it's gonna be 5 of them now. No Valkyrie to heal them, however, so the kitchen knife damage remains permanent. More and more houses getting taken down. Shelty kind of forced to build back these houses one at a time, but his army composition of throwing axes and raiding cav is looking pretty good, actually. Diving into these villagers should be a pretty good idea, especially if he can isolate 1 or 2 villagers. He cannot fight all of them, that's too many. Oh, actually, they're pulling away, and no additional units are coming to help. That's a second Minotaur. He did not upgrade. That's not a bull Minotaur. He didn't upgrade. He paid the full 200 food. Interesting. And that's 1 dead raider. The villagers are still not fighting back with the kitchen knives, but we're gonna see a restoration under the town center's fire. This is kind of offsetting everything. The Chiron getting healed back almost to full. Several of the raiding cavalry have been killed, and the second Minotaur will be joining the fight. I do think that this is way too ambitious, however, for Batuhan. There was no way that he could destroy the town center with this few units. And Shelty should be able to hold, especially with the raiding cavalry coming now home to save the day. Hersier is still in the TC and should be able to go after the Minotaur. Even with the second one coming in, there's not enough Greek units. And that's an absolute cleanup for Shelty with just a few losses. Granted, expensive losses, but units are replaceable, villagers less so. You can only make 1 at a time as long as you're on 1 TC. That really limits your output. Units, however, you can triple quad pump them if you have the resources. That's no problem at all. It's the villagers that are rather important to take down here, and that's why this Shelty raid was actually very meaningful. Batu has a lot of food though, and he can certainly spend that on more Minotaurs eventually. Still has both available. The raiders are looking for another raid. Is this the first shade of the match? It's extremely unlucky if there hasn't been any more than that. There's a 20% chance for the shades to spawn. Sometimes you just get unlucky. It's only from human units. Guess what is going on with these raiders? Why aren't they attacking? Well, guess what? It's looking like the hyena is helping out. Shelty is blessed. Raider gets picked off on the way out though. There's only 4 hunters left out here. And another tower is destroyed, going for the temple now. Are these hoplites and Toxotes? These are Hades hoplites though, so they're slow. Unlike the Zeus counterparts, which would also get a double damage bonus against buildings. Gatherers! Oh my god! Oh, the forest fire is actually not doing anything. The hoplite ends up running into it, but just barely. The Toxotes are completely unaffected, and Shelty is actually hurting himself more than anything else. Minotaurs are retreating away from this. The Toxotes will be sacrificed. Well, that's what they get. Shelty's in a fantastic position right now. 71 population for Batuhan to Shelty 66. He's got a lot of production behind this. He's got control of his base back. He's on the defense. He's got the towers upgraded. A Greek player shouldn't run. Oh god. I opened my mouth a little bit too soon. And then these raiders are getting picked off. It's a lot of throwing axes, however. They're going to be able to manhandle these hoplites. There's no healing option available for the Minotaurs for a really long amount of time. 1500 gold remains in the main. Still a little bit of food as well. Goats are getting eaten up. What about the upgrades? We've got hand axe for Shelty and we've got nothing for Batuhan. Which in a 1TC game makes a perfect amount of sense. I mean, what would he do? Batuhan has 20 villagers on food. That's what really matters right now. Only 8 villagers on wood. Adding 1 villager to wood is actually more meaningful than getting the hand axe upgrade. That's a very important thing to remember. Don't be too eager to get those upgrades. If you can just shift a villager from another resource over that you're overdoing, like Batuhan is with the food here, then that has a greater value. And he just got hand axe and pickaxe. 3 Minotaurs. They're not bulls. But they sure could kill these raiders. One is going down. These are still basic throwing axes for Shelty as well. But he's sniping the Ajax. And no doubt the Minotaurs will be next. Never mind, he's going for the Toxotes, which are actually the threat to the throwing axes. It's funny, I was talking about how people don't make multiple Minotaurs, and then Batuhan goes and makes multiple Minotaurs. And then I talk about how you shouldn't be upgrading your eco upgrades if you have less than 10 villagers on it, but rather rebalance your economy if you could. Then he upgrades his eco upgrades. Yikes, this fight was bad. This was bad for him, sadly. No villager damage was done at all. Sure, a handful of throwing axes were picked off, but he paid for it with his entire army. That's a high price to pay. Granted, the villager gathering is continuing. But Batuhan is rather far away from the heroic age. Guess he can save up for it if he stops production. But he's not. He's still making hoplites and Toxotes. Shelty? He's just happy rebuilding. He remakes the entire army. If he manages to pick up that Minotaur, there's nothing that threatens him with this army anymore. So just a matter of time. Batuhan will also be running out of hunts. There's only so much left. There's double elephant, which is actually a big deal. But other than that, he would have to go up to the north, which is not really viable. The second gold mine also needs to be occupied by Batu. Shelty looking to take a fight in the middle, still with basic raiding cavalry. They're getting a lot stronger when you get their medium upgrade, by the way, so definitely something to consider. Shelty can't quite sustain production, but He is looking to max out, and one Minotaur goes down. There's another Minotaur. What is happening? That is absolutely bonkers. We got 19 throwing X-Men and 13 raiding cav. Definitely time for that medium line upgrade for both. Shelty has a lot of wood right now, so he's probably looking for a farm transition. Or he could just go back out there and hunt again. That's always an option. Yeah, he just gobbled up all the berries, and now he's got a big enough army to strike back with. Batuhan? He's actually quite close, and he's clicking up to Aphrodite, which could be a big play, especially if he can hit villagers and army alike. Could definitely get ahead like that. And now that he has got 19 and 14 villagers on wood and gold respectively, now the hand axe and the pickaxe make a lot of sense. Just when he got it, he didn't yet have it. This could also be a jump into very quick mythic age, by the way. Especially if he moves on to heavy gathering on gold. He canceled the hoplites. But he only has 2 unupgraded farmers now. They don't have plow, they don't have anything else. So I'm not really sure about that one. I would say just grab a TC and keep going. You know, Shelty is very much enjoying this. Not gonna reach the heroic age anytime soon, but he sure enjoyed running around here and wasting Batuhan's time. He should be really on the other side. He's also using Napoleonic tactics with the box formation, keeping the Toxotes protected in the middle. This is not something you see very often, but I like it a lot. There's not enough hoplites to really guard them very well. But we all know how the pathing in AOM is. Raiding cavalry now have shield upgrades. Just bronze, copper shields. It's nothing too crazy. Budget Chimera joins the fight. Second TC is up for Batuhan. Needs a lot more farms than 3 if he wants to double produce villagers, but I guess he's got a big bank right this second. Oh, no, not anymore. It's all gone, it's all gone. Hoplites are not medium, Toxotes are not medium. Wall will be destroyed, but meanwhile Shelty has been diligently upgrading his stuff. He's got medium cav. He's got medium throwing axes, and this is a perfect spot right now for Curse. Especially while these units are... How did he catch 0 villagers? What? He got 0 villagers from the conversion. That shouldn't happen. Well, the throwing axes are getting lower in number. And they have the Nemean Lion and the Minotaur to deal with. That is not going to be easy. Along with the heroes as well, the hoplites are blocking the way of new units joining the battle. Budget Chimera roars, taking down a handful of medium throwing axemen to low health. And with the reinforcements not coming in, I think he'll get several pickoffs here, but the Nemean Lion does die. It's a bit of a shame he sent it in alone like that. Should have definitely had some backup. Batuhan now has 10 villagers and finally has plow. That's just about enough. He's gone up Artemis. Oh my god. Earthquake on the main. He might have just killed Shelty. I didn't notice he's going up Mythic. But I guess that explains why the food was gone. Well, that's a problem for Shelty. Now he's gonna have to deal with the Chimera too. Which is gonna roast these villagers if Shelty's not careful. What was that? Well, Shelty now has to rebuild. He lost all his houses. Absolutely brutal. You can never underestimate the Athena strats. As it turns out. That was pretty cool. I really don't see a way for Shelty to come back in this. Oh my god, all his villagers are getting roasted. No deaths. But the Chimera is gonna chase them down and make sure that they do go down. Nice for these throwing axemen to be in the middle of all the houses and getting some protection against melee units, but there's plenty of Toxotes still around. Hippicon's getting on top, Chiron even sniping them, and the Chimera will have a second fire breath available momentarily. Let's see what that does. He is gonna resign, knowing that he cannot gather the resources. Batuhan will just flood him forever now that his economy is set up with irrigation farms and whatnot. Well played. I did not expect this to work, but it did. What just happened? That was a bit of a shocker. I bet it was for Shelty as well. Shows the importance of that heroic age and Frost and Frost Giants, which could have shut this down super hard, by the way. but Shelty was way more interested in pumping out as many units as he could, which isn't always the best answer. So we've got Mediterranean for game 2, and that is very often one of those maps where people pick Kronos, and that is going to be the case today, where both of these guys are going for it. Got the immediate dock, got the immediate oracles looking for the enemy dock, as it's usually a good value to get the deconstruct on the dock right away. It's kind of a no-brainer. Force the other guy to remake a dock. They're having to pull the villager off of wood, and the fishing ship production gets interrupted as well in that duration. It's not like they can afford a second dock, but deconstruct will be refunding in that time. So that is exactly what we will see. And actually, funnily enough, Shelty gets it way earlier than Batuhan does, which is a great start for him. What you gotta do as well quickly is make sure that you get your drop-off done before the dock completely deconstructs. Oh, Shelty. And he's got it. Okay. Now the fishing ships can go back and gather, and there will be essentially no downtime with that. Very nice. As for everything else, you just gather a little bit from hunt and pigs, whatever you have available. Looks like for Shelty there is no hunt that he really was interested in. Oh wait, there it is, there it is. There's a boar. So yeah, he's got the same exact resource split, except he's choosing chickens as opposed to pigs. So now that the situation is resolved on the seas, we're going back to normal. And eventually there will be a temple once we have 6 villagers out. Citizen status. Also, no doubt both players will be interested in using the oracles as heroes later. Batuhan coming back on the defense. Time shifting the temple is often a play that's done as well, so let's see if Shelty does it. It only costs like 10 wood, which is actually all he has. Good spot to do it here and try to do some land aggression. Everything has been transitioned onto pigs. Wait, is Shelty just going with... Nah, he's got 6 villagers. But he's a little bit delayed with the advance. Batuhan going up to 7 citizens. Wow. Did not expect that. Well, Shelty might be able to punish that a little bit on the sea with double or triple production of biremes, hitting a little bit harder than that of Batuhan, but he's even forwarding his temple with time shift. And that's gonna give him the opportunity to research focus on the oracles. A Chronos specific upgrade that makes him faster, stronger. Definitely worth doing. Sometimes people would even go up to like 6 oracles, but maybe Mediterranean is not the map for it, as soon as you hit classical, you're gonna start making biremes, and then the days of these guys are numbered. You cannot hit the docks with them. You have to bully the gold mine maybe, which is actually really exposed, so I would love to see that. Batuhan's Prometheus is much later, so Shelty advances, clicks in the oracles into heroes with the Valor God power, and yeah, go for the gold mine, man. That's the spot. He got a hit on these oracles, and I don't think he's actually getting. He's not getting focus, right? Like oh, he did get focus. He did, but no extra oracles because we need Byreams on the water, man. It's gonna be a bit of a mirror with that. Batuhan also has the 2 docks, so all is in order. No triple dock shenanigans because we're... Oh, the citizen almost died. Oh my god, that was close. Just barely got in there. Ejection will be risky. Losing the Prometheans there, but only 13 hit points on this thing. Good choice to move it somewhere else, but also if it gets found, if Shelty figures out what just happened, it's gonna be a big problem. Meanwhile, he's absolutely dominating the sea. His fishing ships are gathering, while Batuhans are hiding and just chilling out. It's like an unpaid holiday for them right now. Understandable, given the circumstances of their work, but it doesn't help Batuhan. What's the relics? Real quick, let's check it out. There's nothing that's gonna die over there. Ankofra for some free favor. Harmonious Necklace for some faster villager gathering. Yeah, this is a bit of a wet noodle fight, guys. It's very, very difficult to get kills, especially if you micro. But looks like Shelty is eking out a little bit of that. Taking down now the Prometheans, weakening the citizens. Probably not gonna get the citizen kill. But there's no units left for Batuhan now, and we've got these several Promethean offspring. Several villagers are weak. And while the TC plus hero citizen will take things down, this is all time that Batuhan is not gathering. Now he's ejecting all of these boats. And let me count. 11 to 11. Shelty hasn't lost too much health to the docks, so he should be able to have a relatively even fight against these as well. And he never really stopped production, so that's good for him. A second Valor! He made additional oracles. Good use of the focus upgrade for sure. Dock is getting deconstructed, so that is not something that will help out Batuhan in this fight now. Fishing ship taking a little bit of damage, which is actually helping out in the fight, just being the tank. Whereas everyone else is shooting these ships to pieces, but with great pullback micro comes great responsibility, I guess. Byream goes down, but these 4 are now trapped in the battle, and they'll not be able to get out. Batuhan has to fight to the last man, and I think that is exactly what will happen as Shelty is turning the land fighting up to 11. He's got a military barracks, he's taking down the towers, he's killed the citizen. I think that might not be the first. I don't see where the others... Okay, they're going up here now. Are they trying to get a TC for Batu? There's no way, dude. Shelty has absolute control of the water. He doesn't need to make Byreams anymore. And he can in fact upgrade the fishing ships. Not gonna happen. Batu just taps out. The villagers were found. That's it. 1 to 1. Pretty even on the kill death count, but what you'll see in a second is this. Almost over 1,000 extra resources have been gathered by Shelty. That's what made the difference here. That's the power of idling the enemy's workers a little bit. In the blue color, we have got Max Train, aka Shelty, playing as Oranos. Well, Atlantean worked out real good for him in game 2. Seems smart to continue the process. On the other side, we have got Batuhan, which means that he can just carry on doing the Athena business that he's done before. It should work pretty good against Oranos as well. Although he has to be careful. This map, Blue Lagoon, often is one where you have a lot of hunt, but you need to be able to keep it. Oranos will flood you, and they'll flood you real hard. The roughs are, well, are a pretty good start here for our Oranos player. That's a lot of resources all in one place. And the less these citizens have to walk, the better for them. Because they're pretty slow, but their gather rates are insane, and they don't have to have drop-off buildings, which is saving a lot of resources. Let's be respectful in the chat, please. Thank you. It wasn't funny the first time, it's not funny now to call people noobs. No need to try the joke again. Blue Crystal Shard is one of the relics, gives villagers a little bit of gold and wood gather rate. It's awkward. The way the game works with gather rates is the animation length is essentially the thing that dictates how many resources you will pick up. Along with the gather rates, you just math that out like that. If it doesn't align to result in a full resource, an upgrade might make the villager worse at gathering. It's really misleading sometimes. So that relic giving you 5% actually is not helpful until the late game. Which is really, I hope that that's something that Retold will change. The animations should always align in a way, timing-wise, that they make sense with the given upgrade. And I'm pretty sure they can stretch it by 5%. Would be fan-freaking-tastic. In fact, I'm pretty sure this could be modded right now. Could be done in a Woobly Balance patch, but there's no custodian of the Woobly Balance patch at the moment. So we just wait for Retold, I guess. Maybe I'll make a video on this at some point, but it's such a niche. I don't think many people care about this. Temple's coming up. On both sides. We should be seeing a 430 for both players, is what I would assume. Batuhan going a little faster than that. More like a 415, skipping an entire villager. That people would normally just do. Alright, 3 on gold, so this is gonna be Hoplite and Hippicon, I assume. Going for the elephants out there. This is one of the moves that is actually kind of important to do with the Greek scout. You just go after the oracles and you slap them down. You don't have to kill them. What matters is that you significantly damage them so that it's no longer worth it to cast Valor on the oracles. That buys you a little bit of time in terms of getting harassed, so the villagers can stay out there longer and hunt. That's why you want to hit all the oracles a little bit. Athena is now done, and we know where the hunt is. And now all that's needed for Batuhan is a stable and a military academy, which is exactly what he's doing. As for Shelty, I expect a mix of counter barracks and military barracks, so we got that. Promethean will be deleted so that the offspring can go out there, harass some villagers, find them fast. I'm not sure I always agree with it, because he already had really good information. Looking at Shelty's Fog of War right now, there's, I guess, a little bit to do. But wouldn't it be better to keep the Promethean going just to be able to defend a little bit better against this? Because now, the Promethean offspring just gets yeeted out of this. And half of it is already dead. Terma and Murmillo are coming in. And once turned into heroes, those will be able to shoo away this Minotaur no problem. Might even shockwave it, to be fair. That would be interesting to see. But it's not very killable. Definitely not an easy one to kill. And Batu is going to be rather aggressive with this. Rallying Hoplites and Hippicons right over here to deny the hunt. Valor is gonna be in and the relic gets picked up. Bolt getting used on one of the Murmillo heroes. That is one of the better targets for sure. Terma just not strong enough to use it on them. And funny thing about the Odysseus is that he doesn't miss even the Oranos Termas. They have 5.5 speed, the hero has 5.83. Toxotes are absolutely unviable in this situation. They dodge their arrows and they counter them, so it's like, okay, what now? Hoplites and Hippicons, however, don't really care. Hoplites are fast-ish enough to keep up. Not as fast as the Oranos Murmillo, but close enough. And they have 50% bonus damage against the Terma, so this is a fantastic composition. The second Minotaur, once again, totally unexpected, but Batu seems to really like this style. I'm enjoying it. Even though earlier I said people normally don't do this, I like to see it from Batuhan. I like myth units. I think it makes Age of Mythology more Age of Mythology, not less. So if people start mixing in more myth units into their play, I'll be happy with that. If the balance can shift a bit in that direction, then great. Especially in these classical fight scenarios. Of course, Oranos doesn't have a problem with that. Promethean have always been made. They're dirt cheap. Literally dirt cheap. 80 gold, 10 favor. The favor you generate for free with your town center. What more do you want? That's perfection right there. And then they split into two, giving you even more to work with. Great myth unit. Minotaurs, a little bit on the expensive side at 200 food. Which is why we don't really see them that often. Aside from the free one. Well, Hoplite will be taking down this manor eventually. That was another Valor just used by Shelty. Let's see his upgrades. He's got just hunting dogs. Batuhan. He's got pickaxe for himself this time. A whole lot of hunters. I would actually like to see another military barracks. Military academy, sorry. But instead he's adding in an archery range, which is a risky move. I like that he's eaten the two elephants in the middle, however. That's gonna be very meaningful. And there's more. There's more elephants on the map. TC will be somewhat protecting these villagers. Not too bad. Promethean gets yeeted. Little guys get spawned beneath. But restoration's used. And this is looking like a great fight for our Greek player. He'll have to retreat eventually because of the TC. But the Minotaurs are doing a lot of work on the Prometheans. This is Ditto. Sorry, the Jason. This actually wasn't. But the villager dies. It's a pretty good start, but so many Terma and Murmillo are coming back. This is actually a problem for the Greek army, especially stuck between a rock and a hard place with the towers and the town center shooting everyone. Batu has to be super careful, but Shelty is visibly stressed from all of this. Having to retreat with those Terma more than not. Odysseus gets finally taken down, and that kind of breaks the backbone of this army. He's the anchor that everybody rallies around. And if Shelty just converts a Terma or two, then he can chase down these Minotaurs absolutely no problem. And these boys can take a beating, that's for sure. As more and more Toxotes get added to this group, it will get less and less potent, because the Terma just delete them. Running through the hoplites, maybe not the smartest move that Shelty's ever done. But he sneaks past and will get right on top of the villagers. Oh my. Batu moving the vills out of the way. Might eat some giraffes? Shelty's got to suspect that they've run away though. But he's looking in the wrong direction. That's the beauty of hidden information, ladies and gentlemen. You can do tricks like this and kind of get away with it. Yep, Shelty can't find it. Doesn't know where to go now. Looking for the main base next. And this gives the hoplites an opportunity to jump on the main. Get rid of another tower, maybe the military barracks. Wouldn't be too bad. Shelty isn't actually training from this though, is he? Oh, he is. He's pumping units from every single building he's got, using the last of his valor. Oh my god, he just found the hunters. That's huge, that's huge. I don't think he's gonna have access to thingy magic. I don't think he has shockwave right now, that's the word. But he still kills a ton of villagers. That's 3 kills right there, not too bad. It's a significant portion of Batuhan's economy right now. Feels like 10% maybe. Yeah, about that. Minotaur's getting some kills. Yeeting the Murmillo out of the way. But like I said, the Toxotes are a liability here. They're not gonna add DPS because the Terma just dive them. Doesn't matter if they take some damage in the process, they'll kill them in one shot. There they go. They're gone. All the Toxotes are gone. All you need is 4 Terma per Toxotes. So you don't need to take 12 Terma to snipe a Toxotes. You just take 4. Assuming they hit, of course. If they don't hit, then you have a problem. Maybe you take 5. Let's say you take 5. If you can manage to slice micro that, to take 5 at a time and click them on each Toxotes, that will be an absolute massacre. Alright, now how are we doing with the food situation for Shelty? He's got a shockwave pig up on top of his TC. Because you know, you can do that. Why not? Why not? I won't judge. No farms, however. And long term, he will need to fix that, but he's got like 800 wood in the bank, so that's 4 farms right there. At the farms costing 200. And now Shelty has map control. There's no second gold mine for Batu, he just ran out. That's it. I don't think he can retake this. He has to make Minotaurs. That's the only unit he can make, in fact. And there's nothing in the production. So all that Shelty needs to do is unite with this army, fight the Hoplite and Hippicon mass, and hope for the best. Batuhan trying to get out there. 10 villagers on the gold. It's enough, but can he actually keep that secure? I think probably not. Remember, the Hippicons and the Hoplites are not upgraded here, so the Murmillo and the medium Terma can kind of take this, especially with these kind of numbers. Shelty might have to retreat a little bit, but just a little bit of pullback macro goes a long way, and he's got the numerical superiority, so he just picks off the Hoplites, runs away, and he'll be back with more oh, there's this, of course. That he did that with half his army. Losing Subterma is okay. You can just remake those, no problem. Obviously, it's better to not lose them. And to run around a little bit longer. Batuhan spamming farms out. Using up all his wood for the process. Meanwhile, Shelty is happily chilling at 106 pop. Like I said, very possible to remax. And losing units actually, when you're full pop, it does give you some space to make extra citizens. Shelty's not maxed out on citizens, so this is actually ending up working for him well. It's helping. There's another elephant in the back. That's a bonkers amount of elephants, by the way, but yeah, there's nowhere left to go for Batu. He doesn't have units. These 5-6 guys are not enough to hold back the tide. So Shelty takes another point here. It's 2-1. Pretty even in terms of kill death, but you have to keep in mind that there are Minotaurs involved. Greek units are more expensive, Hippicons especially. And Shelty just gathered a little bit more resources again. Welcome to Alfheim. We've got a Shelty for you here. He's playing as Ra. Everything's in order with that for sure. Good god pick, good god pick. On the other side, in the red color, we have got Batuhan as Oranos, which is also a great god pick. There's not a lot of hunt to go around here, right? And Alfheim often has this relatively exposed gold mine, which is very raidable. But in terms of hunt, you know, this is not What is this? Oh my god. I have never seen such a hunt-rich Alfheim on view. What is going on? Here I am talking about, oh, there's not gonna be a lot of hunt. What is this? What is that? Bruh. Shelty's never gonna make a farm here. The rain god power is officially useless. It's cancelled. What is this Alfheim, dude? Oh my god. Okay. Well, I imagine there's gonna be a scarab rush here. It's gotta happen, right? Surely. This is crazy good. And Shelty sees it all too. So he's definitely gotten himself hunting dogs, right? Yeah, he did. He did. That's a giga hunt Alfheim for sure. Usually what happens is you get like 3 gazelles, or sorry, elk in your main. And then there's like another patch of 5-6 deer. And maybe a patch of 2 aurochs. And then there's this. This is more than you get on Marsh in your main TC area. I bet these guys wish they were Odin right now. I mean, yeah. It's specifically coded for this to be allowed. It's just super strange that the map doesn't actually have a fixed characteristic and swings so hard between 2 different playstyles. So you might pick something and, oh, yeah, I'm great on low hunt map, but then it's a not low hunt map at all. I think that really messes with people's picks, to be honest. Like, if they know that this is gonna be a low to medium map, then they pick a certain way, like they did here. And then they have to play something completely different. I guess it's the whole point of random maps, that you have to adjust to what you get. It's just not very consistent for tournaments. So I'm not sure if I personally approve of this heavy variance in Alfheim specifically. Almost never happens, by the way. Just veto if too much hunt. That's true, and maybe they did. But I've never seen anyone complain about too much hunt, to be honest. So since they both play a god that works with low hunt, it might be just okay. They both accept the boost. Well, Pharaoh shoots away the villager, and I guess it's time for us to take a look at whether the relics are any good. We've got the toothed arrows, Ptah, advance Isru, and the Pharaoh will bully more. So yeah, better archers. Faster Mythunate training from the Pandora's box, more hero damage versus Mythunates from the Khopesh of Horus. The villager will of course just jump into the tower, right? Otherwise it will get shifting sanded back home, man. Gotta be careful, Batu. Veget Eye for some cheaper Mythunates. And now the Pharaoh will go around to find some hunters. Oh man. This villager is pretty weak, and the Veget will be delivering a lot of damage. Prometheus only coming through now. The quick advance of Shelty definitely playing very well here into this map. Where Batuhan was just like, yeah, let's just play normal. Shelty's like, yep, I'm gonna rush. It's got a double barracks, so heavy classical fighting coming in. Oh, there's no shift on Vills on the Boobly patch, that's right. Instead, he's taking some cows. Sorry, it's the extended edition patch that still allows for shifting Vills. Thanks for the reminder. Well, still some significant damage coming through, and eventually these villagers will be out there on the map, so I guess the job next up will be to stay at home and like farm later when the time comes, but for now they can use the elks. Mermillo and Turma will shoot this away for the moment, but there are enough spearmen here to control it. And the heroes can certainly be shifting sanded, but it's already been used. So Pharaoh doing his best. Kind of missing a bunch of shots at full speed. And it's still just spearmen coming out of Shelty. A little surprised to see 0 slings, but he's got 0 on wood, so it makes sense. Nobody's gathering wood for him. Spears looking for some raids. They're the fast boys, so higher damage than X-Men as well, so it makes sense to just spam those with the hunt that he's got available. Everyone's trying to do a little bit of damage to the Pharaoh, but kind of not succeeding. I wonder if Batu is upgrading his towers or not. I think he's not, actually. Nope. Absolutely not. He's got Cairo Ballista, which is nice against Spearmen, but bear in mind the Spearmen also have a double bonus damage against Cairo, so if they can manage to mess up like this and dive on it, the Cairo Ballista will just be deleted. The Warrior Pharaoh, indeed. Oi! We had 1 citizen kill so far. With just the 2 spearmen, I mean, several citizens are rather weak, right? So getting spears on top is actually a huge deal. And this wall is also something that's important to deny now, if possible. Spears trying to run down this army. Tower upgrade is finally through. That will help Batu a lot, but that amount of spearmen is actually crazy. Citizen getting heavily damaged by the Pharaoh, Priest, and Spearman. I'm pretty sure this citizen goes down. Oh, the speed walking, look at that! He's trying to help with the Murmillo to get the villager to speed walk, and it's pretty speedy, but 5 speed from the Spearman is just more speed than is legal on Alfheim. Villager's dead. Yeah, at the end, the villager was slowed down, in fact, by the speed walk. But it was a good attempt. Oh man, another one getting caught. This one cannot escape. Shelty needs to pay attention to the blob on the map, and he finds it. Is that bug abuse? No. No, that's a very intentional mechanic in Age of Mythology. It's basically all about formations, but you can use it on villagers too. Another kill. Alright, the temple's been back, and now we're getting Prometheans. Devastating damage overall. I struggle to find something to say that could redeem Batuhan now. He just doesn't have stuff, man. Even the manor was a little late, and that's the kind of stuff that you cannot allow at this point. Shelty is just so far ahead. He's out there hunting aurochs, he's at home hunting elk. He's happy to do this all day. In fact, those spears, like I said before, could just try to dive the Cairo Ballista. It's not particularly fast, so it can't exactly run away. The spears poke him once and he's dead. That is something that people, I think, often forget. Especially when getting this many spears out. Are we gonna see a second TC from Shelty, or is he just happy with continuing the spear spam? Looks like option 2. Got some time to heal up the spears. One thing you can do in these cases is obviously just separate some healthy boys like that, and then do it again, leaving only the damaged boys behind. Oh, this could be a great flank if he brings everyone back. He's running away, but he's got like a hugely superior army. I guess he would like to have his Pharaoh ready for the fight. I don't know where he is. Let's just select. No, there it is. Kind of wish like the heroes had a different icon on the minimap, but anyway, the spears on the Cairo Ballista, as I said, 1 poke, 1 kill. That's it. And the entire army of Batuhan has just evaporated, securing Shelty what looks like a massive victory in the battlefield. But also probably the entire series at this point, as there's nothing for Batuhan to protect his remaining villagers. There's a handful of units here. The Prometheans are annoying for the spears, but I mean, already 3 villager kills, right? Is that what it was? And probably more on the way. We've even got Ra obelisks. How often do you guys see Ra obelisks? I bet not very. Looking forward to the spear raid. The citizens should be totally surrounded by this many of them. He's going for the hero, which is the harder pick, but... Ah, shockwave. Get out of jail free. The other one's still very hurt, however, and that goes down. 4 citizen kills thus far in just a classical age. That is absolutely bonkers. Medium slingers has been researched in case there's a Thermoflood, but there isn't. Food gathering has begun for Shelty. And he finds another 2 citizens. They're trying to run away, but the spears are so fast. There's enough of them to get a full surround as well, especially against the forest here. Good thing for Batu that he has 3 counterballs, so Shelty won't be able to stick around for too long. He's looking for the full surround, but both players are furiously clicking away in the other direction, and the counterballs has saved the day. As much as we can call it a day saving here. So now Shelty's going 2 TCs. And with the hunt diminishing a little bit on the map, I think it's time for transitioning into the farming very soon. There's plenty of cows available for the moment though. Alright, spear numbers. Well, they need to get on top of those carabalists, so there's no choice about that. Has to happen. There's too many now. 5 carabalists is devastating, and the spears cannot be allowed to fight frontally. Not against that. Villagers are getting pulled. And Shelty is now devoting a number of them onto the carabalists. The villagers also having a good amount of bonus damage here. But both them and spears have 100%, so that makes the villagers actually more DPS heavy against siege. At least for the moment. Skin of the Rhino is not in, so the villagers are getting plenty hurt. The citizens, however, are staying out there, and it looks like that's enough Murmillo and Prometheans to beat the army back for the first time ever. Shelty, however, just retreating to the TC. He knows that that will provide ample amount of coverage. All he needs to do is snipe the 1 Murmillo hero, and the Veget will provide massive assistance to the rest of the army from here. What now? What now, Batu? You need a TC, you need something, you need villager damage, anything. Shelty's probably maxed out on Will soon. Alright, not very soon, but in a reasonable time frame he will do so. Going out there to hunt again, right in the obelisk range. Shelty can see this, I'm sure. 10 spears is more than enough to handle this situation as well. It's got plenty of slingers now in the back, 18 of them, so that's not going to be a great answer to the Murmillo and Cairo Ballista. But as long as they're sitting under the TC chilling here and the priest target down the Prometheans, it should be okay. Alright, spears finally found the citizens. That's a gold mine situation, given that the home gold mine is gone. Spears flanking from the back, getting on top of the Cairo Ballista. Will not be able to quite kill it, but the villagers will do the job. Oh yeah. Another citizen goes down. These guys are garrisoned for the moment, but they won't be able to stick around for too long. And Shelty's paying attention. He's shifting off a handful of the spears, leaving just one behind to poke that manor. That's another villager dead, I'm pretty sure, unless he doesn't micro. A little bit of speed walking in there, but limited. Looks like they'll get away, but meanwhile Shelty wins the main battle, which gives him control over this remaining hunt patch. And soon the farming should begin. The cows is still plentiful though, so no real need for it. There's also hunting. It's okay. And there's a bunch of weak citizens on the berries, so picking them off would be a nice move as well. He's not gonna focus on them. The slingers actually miss against the moving termites, so that is something to consider. Should target the villagers. Alright, Batu. That's probably the end of the line for you, buddy. No heroic age means absolutely no way to get gold. No way to get gold means no units. Don't even have myth units that you can make. Even those cost gold. So that's the end of the line. Can make citizens, but Shelty has full control over all gold mine locations. He's planned this. And he's not gonna let go now. He's not gonna take the foot off the gas. Brakes don't exist. This hype train cannot be stopped. Sorry, he's a max train. GG. It is going to be called, and Shelty advances to the round of 8. Batuhan gets left in the dust, but it's not a bad dustbin exactly that he goes into. It's still a round of 16 accomplishments, so, you know, made it out of his group. Put up a fight against Shelty. That's some good learning experience for our youngling here. As he accumulates more experience, I'm sure we'll see a lot more of him. We want to thank our MetaPlace website subscribers. Your contribution helps us keep the project sustainable. As we reach higher subscription goals, you are helping us cover more and more behind-the-scenes costs, such as video editing. Check out our subscription page using the link in the description, and remember to collect your perks. We will see you the next time.